Alright, the film set in 1950s and 1960s. Gotta play the part, man. Come on! My Love Sinema is the new local film directed by Leng, and it stars Tosh, Cheryl, Wang, Cheryl, Hui, and also Richard Low. I apologize if I can't say every name in Chinese, so English would have to do it. Tosh plays a character named Zheng who has a big passion for movies. But in his village, he doesn't have a lot of chance watching movies. So he goes to the city, links up with his manager, and there he encounters Lee. Lee is his new mentor who teaches him how to project the films into the cinema screen. And along the way, he falls in love with a school teacher named Wang. And there they embark on a journey of love, drama, sometimes betrayal, and you already know how this story plays about. It's a period piece drama romance film, and you cannot go wrong with this type of genre. And for the most part of this film, they were kind of predictable. I have never seen any of the trailers. I did watch the first trailer and I kind of forgotten about it. So I didn't really have any expectations about this film. I know very little about it, which can be a good thing. And I must say that I was genuinely surprised by this film. This is by far one of the best subtle performances that I have seen in a local cinema in a very long time. You may have seen Tosh in the Lion Man or Our Boys to Men, but here he plays as a person who is very reserved, very held back, and also someone who is less fortunate. He is not very vocal in here, he is a little shy, he's a little embarrassed about doing certain stuff in the film, and for the most part, I really like his performance. And by far the best aspect about this film is in its premise. It is set in the late 1950s and the early 1960s, and they really portray the environment and the surrounding that you are in. It talks about the evolution about film and cinema, about how they used the screen from a little old camera to just a white piece of background, to now what we have here as a digital screen. I was completely bought into the premise of the film. Also, another plus points are the characters inside the film. By far the best character, which has the most amount of vocal humor and just engagement in this film, is brother Lee, who is played by Wang. He is the type of person that is a rebel. He speaks his mind. He is very vocal in this film. He's very action-based, heavy person, and he really brings a lot of humor into the screen. Although some characters can also dwell into the situation of overacting, which I will get into that later. Now, with that being said, there are still some issues about the film which I want to talk about. In this film, Tosh plays as a character who is unable to read or write. But throughout the majority of the films, except for one or two scenes, he speaks in perfect Chinese. Even if people tells him a sarcastic joke or even something very deep and profound, he understands it. I don't really believe that he is someone who is very good in speaking Chinese without learning to read or write. I mean, where does he learn that from? So it's a bit of a small issue, but it does take you out of the experience because some parts could be a little unbelievable. Now, speaking about unbelievability, there are certain portions of the film that can be very coincidental. It felt as if some parts of the story have loopholes and they couldn't cover up the loopholes, so either they fill in with exposition or they just fill in with coincidence. It's something like, I know this guy who know this girl, who know this girl, who knows this guy, who happens to know you, and thus we are all connected in certain ways. And even though I do believe in some of these coincidences, some of them tends to be a little unrealistic. Now, I'm not going to spoil which are the plot holes, but during the film, certain things just join together and you feel as if, that's a little bit too coincidental. Now, speaking about characters again, I feel that My Love Sinema shows a very sweet relationship between Tosh and Cheryl. As I said, the premise is the best aspect about the film. The characters are engaging, but some of the characters tend to overact a little. Certain plot holes are just very easily resolved or just unexplained. But other than that, I would recommend you to watch My Love Sinema, and I'm gonna give this film a 7 out of 10. Do check the film out and support local cinema. I do feel as if it will be worth your time. It is a lot better than some of the local films that you will see this year. And if you like this, guys, and you want to see more, you can check out Deliton's Reviews Facebook page right here for more upcoming reviews and amazing updates. I want to thank Gilbert Chan, Fly Entertainment, and MM2 Entertainment for allowing me to watch this film early to give this review to you guys. And I would like to give a big special thanks to Leng, the director of the film, who had made time and effort to do this interview with me. Here, she will talk about her experience experience writing the film and the message that she wants to show. Enjoy!
Hello, I'm Leng. I'm the director of My Love Sinema. Actually, I've always been intrigued by stories of the 1950s, especially like the old films by Audrey Hepburn. The period of the 1950s in Singapore is actually one that is very romantic, I feel, because it's post-war and pre-independence as an era which will bring back nostalgic memories for the audience. Back into the era where they used to pak tor, also for the younger generation, to let them have a look at what life in the 50s is all about. Projecting a movie is actually an art. You know, you have to be really precise in counting like the reels and how you actually join from one reel to another. So Fang Ying Ai, My Love Sinema is a very sincere local production, and I hope all of you will just buy a ticket, go into the cinema and support local production. Thank you.
Thank you so much for making the time to do this interview with me. I really appreciate it, and I hope that My Love Sinema will be successful in the near future. And yes, to you guys, thank you so much for watching and supporting me. I really appreciate it, and you can stay tuned, stay awesome, and I'll see you again in Dilettan's Reviews.
爱我的人多的是，我不爱你，可以爱的人到处都是。
Directed by Tan Ai Leng. Tongue twister. Tay Ping Hui. What the crap, did I just say that wrongly? So My Love Singapore, Singapore. He is his new mentor, teacher who teaches him how to ulcer in my mouth, man. Genuinely, not very local. And My Love Singapore cinema keep getting them wrong. Film is in his premise, not for his plot holes. I feel that My Love Singapore, oh my gosh, there it goes again.